Hey, you want to see a trick? I figured it out while I was making a U.S. history video. Watch this. I know, right? It bleeps. I can self-censor. How cool is that? Okay, so if you're going to be building your own mutual fund, we're going to have to understand how to read stock indexes, right? You want to be able to understand how well a company is doing, right? Because if you're going to be building your own mutual fund, ultimately, you're going to want to pick stocks that overall are doing pretty well. Now again, since this isn't a real mutual fund, it doesn't have to be perfect, but you also don't want to pick a company that's been like tanking for a while, right? And definitely with everything that's going on, it's really good to pick stocks over a diverse range. So let's just get right into how to read stocks really quickly, okay? So, magic, right? Okay, so what you're looking at right now is basically what you'd be looking at for a stock. I chose Nike because Nike is a company that I think most of us are familiar with, and if not, you know, maybe you're, like Michael Jordan said, a Republican. But here's the deal, right? Stock indexes are broken down into three key clear parts, right? The name, the current market value, and then a chart, right? Okay, showing the ups and downs that it's being tracked. So let's go up to the top, right? So the way that the name is broken down is that you're given the name of the company. Surprise, surprise. But then you're also given a little bit of more information. Right underneath the name, you're gonna see NYSE. That stands for the New York Stock Exchange. That's the particular stock exchange that this is being traded on. Each country has its own stock exchange, and so some stock exchanges will be different, right? So if you're looking for a particular company, it might be in the Korean stock exchange, it may be in the Japanese stock exchange or the German stock exchange. If you see NYSE, it means that it's part of the American stock exchange because our stock exchange is in New York, right? Okay, but then you also have the code after it. For Nike, it's NKE. It's usually like a 3 or 4 letter combo that helps you know which company it is. This is just for tracking purposes, but just so you see all this letter jumbo, I don't want you to get confused by it, right? Okay, below it you're going to see the value, right? And it's going to be giving you a number in USD, right? Okay, and it's going to be telling you the time that's how much it costs right below it, right? So when you're looking at this, it's going to say 88.32. That means each individual Nike stock at the time that I pulled this image, right, at 3:14 p.m., right, one stock was worth $88.32. But look how quickly it could change. Within the same minute, the stock can go up or it could go down. Now the days that are listed below, it says 1 day, 5 day, a month, a year, 5 years, and so on. That's so you can get a look on the chart. So if you click on one of those buttons, it's going to show you how well the stock has done. If it's in green, that means that the stock is doing better over that period of time. So looking at our 1 day, it's showing us that the stock is doing better. But if we look at the 5 day, Nike stock has actually gone down a little bit over the course of 5 days, right? If you click on the max button, that's going to show you how well the stock did over the entire course of it being traded on the stock market, right? So let's think about this. What if you wanted to buy a Nike stock back in 1990? How much do you think it'd be worth? Surprise, I can tell you because that's what the stock chart is for, right? It was $1, it was 99 cents. So in 1990, say I wanted to buy 10 shares of Nike, how much would it be? Don't worry, I can wait. All right, so 10 shares of Nike back in 1990 would cost you just under $10, right? So what if I wanted 100 shares? It would cost me just under $100, right? So let's think about what that means for today, right? Let's say we looked at back in like January before this whole financial crisis hit. Let's see how much Nike stock was back then. Yeah, January 10th, it was over $100. So think about that, 1990 to 2020, right? That means that your stock would have increased by like 100%. So say I had bought 10 Nike stock back then and I had $10. What would the math be on that? I'll give you 2 seconds for this one. Okay, so you figured it out? Yeah, you'd have just about $1,000, right? Now, all that money would have been doing is just sitting there collecting, appreciating, getting more and bigger and better over time, right? But again, if you think about it, $1,000 over 30 years isn't going to make anyone rich, right? So I would have needed to have had lots of Nike stock to be able to make this happen, right? Say if I had bought 100 stock at that time, right? If I had $100, I would have had $10,000 in Nike stock. And now you're starting to see it takes money in the stock market to make money in the stock market, right? Just putting $1 down, even on a company that's as successful as Nike, isn't going to make anyone a millionaire overnight. It takes a long time to accrue money in the stock market, and it's gradual. It's a slow wealth build unless you have a lot of money to put down in the first place, right? The more you bet on a stock, the bigger your return can be. But let's talk about that, because that also could mean losses. Say I had bought all of that stock in Nike on January 10th and it went down to what it was today, right? So think about it. If I had just bought one share in January, how much would I have lost by today? About $12, right? And again, that doesn't mean a whole lot in the scheme of things. If I had $100 and I got $88, I'm still doing okay. But think about it. What if you had bought 10 stock? You would have lost $120. 100 stock, right? 1,000 of those stocks, right? You got to think about this. It's all about volume. And that's where the mutual fund bit's going to come into play, right? So we're going to kick it over to the next video. I just want you to take a look at some of these stocks below, and I've got questions for you, just because I want you to practice on breaking them down, okay? All right, good luck.